My name is Maria, as Dirk said, and I greet all those present on behalf of the Observatory team. I would like to say that I'm very glad here to share our experience once again. And I thank to Dirk and to WTO the invitation you made to us. First of all, concerning our experience in the context of governance, I would like to say that we have been facing governance as a process of making and implementing decisions regarding indicators. In this first slide, I would like to call your attention regarding ASTO position in Europe and in Portugal, and especially as regards the area of observatory intervention. The map gives you an idea about the complex scenario of stakeholders that we have to face when developing the participation process to engage the most important stakeholders. This tourist destination corresponds to NUT 2 units and is considered a big region with several changes that must be developed. In terms of administrative organization, this area covers several administrative units. This is an administrative dimension that has to be considered, and we, as you can see, we can count with 5 intermunicipality bodies and 58 municipalities, but in fact they have representation in the regional tourism board, which facilitates our work. This numerical accounting must be considered further because we still have to take in account other stakeholders from the private sector and also from the third sector and also professional association and residents. So we are facing a very complex scenario, but even though we are developing our approach, and I can say with success, but we still have a lot of work to do. This information that I'm giving you is important when we are setting up the local working group, as they are part of the public sector group and have an important role in the local development process in our region. This area corresponds to almost a third of the territory, but is a sparsely populated area with about 700,000 inhabitants. These are a large area covered by ASTO is justified by the fact that this is the intervention area of the Regional Tourism Board that is responsible for planning in an integrated way as far as the development of tourism is concerned. So our observatory is based on the University of Évora, but we work we work together with the Regional Tourism Authority in every action that we are developing, considering this approach for the stakeholders. That's why we have always this unconditional support has been important for us, and because the Regional Tourism Board is very committed to support this project, because it recognizes that its performance is essential for the reasons that we all know, and the other colleagues just said it before. In terms of the supply, although at different stages, we have services in almost business domains, with clear exception of space tourism, and they are based on a territory with particular characteristics, allowing a great diversity of activities based on natural and cultural resources. Now the question is, how are we going to work in this context of participatory process? In the first stage of the observatory, we work in partnership with the National Authority of Portugal, Tourism Portugal, and on a regular basis, as I said, with the Regional Tourism Authority. At this early stage in 2018, we choose not to proceed with the constitution of the working local group, as suggested by the WTO, because there are many entities, as I said before, producing data, and also because there is a wide dispersion of information resources. In our opinion, this wasn't the best stage to have the engagement of all stakeholders, because we are also trying to figure out how to put in place an observatory structure as demanding as this one. Therefore, we wanted to do an initial work of exploring the reality of new forms of association and collaboration, and at the same time, we were producing some reports with data and information regarding the 9 thematic areas. In fact, in 2018, we accepted the WTO's suggestion to work on the 9 areas, but it was an option that drove us crazy due to the resources available at that time. We know that some observatories started by just approaching 1 or 2 areas, but we try to reach all these 9 areas, and recently 2 more areas regarding accessibility and climate action. Even so, we are engaged with this process, and we started doing several meetings with public organizations and associations that have projects with a large territorial impact, as well as companies that develop technological solutions. And with these enterprises, we also gained some training to make better choices related to the management of the indicator systems. We spoke with some partners also of the ISTO network. We visited Buenos Aires Observatory in 2019 in a benchmarking context. And also we had some reflection with our friends of Azores Observatory in Portugal. And also we have been participating in these international forums and among other initiatives. This year, we had the first meeting with our regional working group. We don't call it the local working group because, as I presented you, we are dealing with a big region, so we call it the regional working group. The main question that we ask to them is what facts should be measured in their opinion. This is a simple question, but with a difficult answer. But even though the stakeholders were very interested in this project, and so we gave them 2 questions. We say that it's their homework to reflect. And the first was, what kind of information can you provide for each dimension of ASTO for our digital tool? And regarding the sector they present, what type of data and information do they think it's important for our observatory to provide to stakeholders? After this meeting in April, we have been doing some administrative tasks to develop our digital platform. that will take in account all the 11 thematic areas. But in the next month, we will do a one-to-one approach meetings with the most important stakeholders. In our first stage composition, we have about 15 stakeholders representation, because we cannot deal with all the information that WTO is asking us for us to work. We must go step by step, and at this moment we have a lot of work to do with all these 15 entities that are very interested in participating in these projects. So these meetings that we are going to develop in the end of this month will be approached by sector, by products, and also by region. And we assume that our model is still in constant growth and adaptation. Also, I would like to give you just some main ideas of our regional working group work. This is a discussion forum for us regarding many issues, but at this moment we are very focused on the data that we should manage to integrate in our digital system. They will, of course, do the validation of the KPIs. They will also suggest for studies to be developed, but not now, just in the future. Now we have a lot of work to do first. Also, they will give data and information to us, and then we also provide them with further information and knowledge. This is a win-win process. They will also collaborate in the data collection process. They also will do the monitoring of the evaluation of the Pista Digital, that is our digital tool to gather all the data that is available in to many different sources of information. And of course, they will participate in the annual meetings or workshops of the regional working group. And also we consider the involvement in other actions foreseen in a future work plan, but for now we have many things to do with them. So we assume that we have a flexible cooperation and collaboration model. For now, 2 annual meetings and also some sectorial meetings. And my last slide is just to present you the complex picture of the governance approach that we want to develop. These are the main elements that we recognize that are important to bring in together, but we are on an ongoing process in the first stage. But we think that next year and after that, we can go further step by step with our approach concerning this participatory and collaboration in the context of our observatory. Thank you. That's all. If you have any question, I'm available to clarify what you need.